All right, you guys, we're back. So we're waiting in a parking lot. I'm kind of waiting here for something. I won't tell you what, but I'm waiting here. So I thought I'd drop another video. So what I alluded to in my other video, my very first video, talking about the supply chain and talking to different customers that own businesses, talking about a little bit about how usually it takes 2 to 6 weeks for him to get his product in. It's taking more like 3 to 6 months for him to get his product in. Very interesting. I kind of alluded to, and once again, I just have the most interesting conversations with different people at work. So this was one that I actually had probably maybe sometime that week or maybe the same day. I can't be for sure. So the funny thing is we were talking about hoarding. So here's the thing. This is just my theory on it. Is it hoarding? Like, so I'm a reseller. So if I'm able to spot what the new trending toy is, trending item, it doesn't matter, trending socks, trending headband, whatever the case may be, and I buy a bunch of it and sell it for like a higher price, a nice profit, is it gouging? What a lot of people don't realize is a lot of people are not aware. So like, I'm one of those aware people. So if I can see something that I think that might take off, we can use fidget spinners, for example. Then what was next? Those little poppy things. I don't know if there was anything else in between that, but I kind of just stopped watching the toys altogether. But if opportunity comes up and it's lucrative, of course I'm going to turn on my radar and start paying attention. But if I start buying something, Christmas is definitely in December. If I start buying a particular product when it's plentiful on the shelf, and this goes for toilet paper because we kind of led into toilet paper too. And I said, no, it's not gouging. I said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. If you see something like toilet paper, and right now you can go into the grocery store, I'm just using this as an example, and you can go into the grocery store right now and there's plenty of it. There's, you can buy as much, not as much as you want because they're now limiting it as of probably like a week ago or so, give or take. You can get it, it's fine. So if I buy one every week for 7 days straight, that's not hoarding. That's to me, that's my opinion. If it's on the shelf right now, I consider hoarding is when and I get hoarding is like when what you have at your house, but what I'm saying, to build up to that. So if for 1 month straight I went into a store and bought one of something every day, some people, well, you don't need that much. Actually, well, you don't know what that person is doing, meaning if they're helping their whole family, meaning not just their immediate family, maybe their cousins, people that are out of state, people, their neighbors, their neighborhood. Maybe they have it to where they're not just helping themselves, they're creating a bigger circle. They just don't have a small circle. They have a big circle, and they want to provide for people that weren't maybe paying attention or preparing or, getting ready. Maybe they have small children, so on and so forth. With that being said, I consider hoarding, and maybe I'm using the wrong word, maybe not necessarily hoarding, but if when people go to the store, and this is for Christmas, and even now, people go and they say, oh my God, my child needs, we'll talk about the toy. So the toy, let me see if I can smell a good light. There's some good light. My child needs the whatever toy, and I can't find it. Well, there was about 100 on the shelf during the summertime. You didn't know that you wanted it until your child told you. You didn't, do the research. And I'm not getting on parents, but I'm just saying, me as a reseller, being able to spot what the hot toy is and buy multiples of it when it was plentiful months in advance is not, I'll say, a bad thing. That's how I think I see it, because there's been a few times I've gotten ate up through the years saying, I can't believe you're charging this amount or this and whatnot. And I'm like, supply, not to be rude, supply and demand. This is what I do. I turn around and buy and flip stuff. So with that being said, you think that I just bought this toy a week ago. I've been holding on to this toy for 2-3 months. And I've had it, and it's been on the shelf. And that's just, I won't say the nature of the beast, but that's just what I do. I turn around and flip stuff. So if I'm able to spot it months in advance and buy a bunch of them, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 of them, you can't be mad. Now, the cool piece about it is, too, what people got to realize, a lot of people have that nice reach to where they go straight to the companies and they're buying this product. So it's like, this never even hit the store. Yeah, it's a hot toy, but they made a, you know, agreement with the, you know, the particular toy company or whatever the case may be, and they bought the particular item. I think a lot of people could also buy these particular items, not just the hottest toy. I'm just talking about the hottest socks, the toy, jewelry, clothing, furs, shoes, whatever the case may be. You just have to reach out to these companies or go online. Alibaba's always there, AliExpress, Wish, all these places are there. But now going back to the first video, if you, it's September, the first week of September, so it's almost September, it's the 5th today. If you don't order something that's overseas, something that might have took 2 to 4 weeks might now take 2 to 3 months for you to get, which would put you right at the cap, right to Christmas. So September, October, November, no, about Thanksgiving-ish. So with that being said, it's like you better get on the ball and get it now. Back to hoarding. So the conversation I was having with this particular customer is like, no, I see it to where I'm at work and then all of a sudden something comes on the news and then people decide to start preparing before shit hits the fan. And there's 100 people, 500 people, 300, 400 people in Walmart, for example, and you're going in there to get, you know, water. Everybody's going there to get water. That's when it's a problem. When everybody wants to get it and maybe somebody has 5 or 6 or 20 in their cart, that's a problem, because that can start arguments, fights, so on and so forth. But if I had the smarts, I guess I'll say, to buy something all throughout the summer, bottled water, I don't know, cookies, canned goods, whatever the case may be, every time I go to the grocery store, I buy a can of corn, then that's just me being smart. That's not me being a hoarder. That's me being smart. And then to take it one step further, a lot of people that prep and whatnot, or buy a lot of stuff, they're just not feeding their family and immediate family. So I'm talking about husband, wife, significant other, whatever the case may be, and children. They're thinking about their parents. They're thinking about their grandparents. They're thinking about their next door neighbor that they've been living next door for the last 15, 20 years. And they know that they can't get out. Do you get what I'm saying? So a lot of times people that prep, or they have that mindset, a lot of them are not just thinking of themselves, they're thinking of others. And that, you know what, that's a very good point. So anybody that watches this channel, feel free to take that and expand on it, please, because if you think about it, a lot of times people that prep or have the foresight to see ahead in the future and say, you know, things don't look too good right now. It looks like it might be a cold winter, meaning that, you know, storms are coming, so maybe I should get a generator. One, oh, Christmas, I don't see as many Christmas toys on the shelf and it's getting really close to Christmas. What's going on? And they do their research and they decide to, instead of just buying 1 doll, they buy 3 dolls so they can give it to the next door neighbor until they're to their niece. You get what I'm saying? Or the person that says, you know what, we have 8 people in our family and we sure do go through a lot of toilet paper, and so every time for the next month I go to the grocery store, I'm just going to buy an extra pack of toilet paper just to be on the safe side. Stuff like that. People that think ahead, they're not just thinking of themselves. A lot, actually, during when it first happened, a lot of people were actually a lot of my coworkers also were helping out a lot of the elderly people in their neighborhood. Like if they had a, you know, they lived in the house for like 10-15 years, their elderly neighbor down the street couldn't afford, or not afford, couldn't get to the store, they were buying stuff for them. So you got to kind of think like that. It's not hoarding when you just happen to have 20 of something, but you saw all the way down months in advance, 6 months in advance, hell, a year in advance, and you had it. I'm gonna touch on toilet paper here, because you know what, I'm so sick of people talking about toilet paper and how they're toilet paper. Why are people running toilet paper? Let me just, I said this in another video when, probably last year, when they were talking about toilet paper. It's funny, people say, I don't understand why people want toilet paper. Well, you know what? Until you don't need it, when you're sitting on the toilet and you need it, you never realize how important it is. I'm just saying, toilet paper fits real beautifully in a closet somewhere. This is what me and another customer were talking about. In a closet, off to the side, tucked away. It doesn't go bad. It never goes bad. I'll tell you a quick story, you guys. I used to really prep back in the day, and I literally had so much toilet paper in my house. I'm talking about, this was over like 10 or 12 years ago. I had so much toilet paper in my house from couponing, doing deals, even before I was couponing. I had 7 years, I BS you not, 7 years worth of toilet paper. This is how I knew, because I moved twice to 2 different apartments. I think when I moved here like 15, 16 years ago, I started, accumulating and whatnot. And then I moved to another apartment, so maybe I stayed in that apartment 3 years. Then I moved into the next apartment and stayed there for 5 years. And I literally did not get through that toilet paper until I moved to another apartment. And I would say I had comfortably 7 years. I never bought toilet paper. I never bought toilet, and it was just me and my son. So, we didn't go through a lot of toilet paper. We weren't a big family, but at the same time, we had toilet paper. Little things like that. People just trip. Oh, well, why are people well, you know what? People sure did want it, right? Why? Water and toilet paper, right? Necessities. And people say, well, you could use rags, you can use this shit, but if you have a bidet, that's even better. But everybody uses toilet paper. I'm just saying, canned goods, just certain stuff you should already have in your house. And if you're preparing now, I would say prepare. If you get ready, you don't have to be ready. Just a canned good. Every time you go to the store, buy a can of beans, buy a can of this, buy a can of that, because there's nothing worse, especially if you have children. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna cut this video short. To disappoint, or adults are adults, but children are a little bit different. To hear a child, and I heard this on another channel many years ago. I've been following this gentleman, and he said there's nothing like a starving child. And that hit home for me, because back in the day, my son was younger when I probably first started watching him. It's true. And when you think about the holidays, maybe not being able to provide for your children, to see the disappointment in their eyes, even though that's not what it's about. Me personally, me and my family, I'll tell you guys something, we don't celebrate Christmas. And the reason why we don't celebrate Christmas, and what I mean by that, not in the, you could say, traditional American way. I'm talking about decking up the house, decorations, whatever. Last year I was blessed. I can't remember if it was Thanksgiving or Christmas or both. My parents came down from out of town and we spent the holidays together. That was Christmas to me. Having my family all under one roof, that was so important to me. We didn't give gifts. I haven't given my son a Christmas gift in, I don't know, 10 years comfortably, because the way I work and the way I operate, every day is Christmas. If he wanted something back in the day before he started working, he would get it. So I'm like, okay, that's what Christmas is supposedly, right? At the end, my son, little whatever, has been watching this video game. He's been wanting it for 6 months, and then you get it for him, right? Well, I had the money at the time, back in the day, because I used to hustle back then, have 2 jobs, so on and so forth, so we were living very comfortably. I would get it for my son. And it's like Christmas would come, one Christmas, and that's what did it. One Christmas, I asked him, I said, well, what do you want for Christmas? And he couldn't even name a single thing that he wanted. And I knew then, it's like, okay, every day can be Christmas if you can provide for your children. Now, I say that to not brag, not to say, but everybody has different, how they feel. Like some people say, oh my God, I can't believe that you don't celebrate Christmas like that. Well, certain religions don't celebrate Christmas, and that's not my religion. I'm just saying, to go all out, decorate the house. I've just never been, back when I was younger, of course, yes. And when my son was very young, yes, I used to do it. But now it's just like, no, I rather have, if I could have my parents, my mother, my father, my son under one roof, and we have a great, amazing day, and any other family members that come over, that's fine too. But if I can have my parents there and my son there, I'm good. A good meal, my father cooks, my mom makes desserts or cooks, whatever, that's what makes me happy. That's what makes me feel good around the holidays. So, I forgot, I kind of went off subject. Sorry about that, you guys, but that's just the way I feel. But hopefully people kind of see, and I think it should start hitting the fan real soon, like in the next month. I think I was listening to a channel or a podcast, and they were saying, give it in the next 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks, you're really going to start to see the crunch in the stores, where they're not going to have that much, especially if there's 44 container ships sitting out on the port of LA, Long Beach, and the other, I think there's 2 over there, just sitting there idly waiting to dock, come to shore and unload all this stuff. I mean, what could possibly, there's all kinds of stuff in there, but I'm sure that a lot of that stuff is Christmas. And better yet, let's skip ahead. Halloween, Thanksgiving and Christmas items. I'm just saying. All right, with that being said, you guys, I'm going to stop. Going back to hoarding. It's not hoarding if you start to prepare. I love someone that is prepared in all walks of life. I'm prepared business-wise, mentally, physically, spiritually, the whole nine. I'm just saying. All right, you guys. A little long one there, kind of rambled, but that's what I do best. Bye.